Is now a good time to buy real estate here in Naples, Florida? Now, this is not going to be a typical video of your typical real estate agent saying that now is the best time to buy. Because if we rewind historically, we would see that there were times in the past where there was a better time to buy. But we're going to talk about the real data. We're going to talk about what's actually going on in this market now to help you decide if indeed it is the right time to buy. So let's jump right into it. Now, my name is Brad Dohack. I'm the broker and owner here of Gulf Point Properties, and I've been licensed here in Florida for about 19 years. I've seen a lot of different times in the overall market. Now, what we are seeing today is drastically different than what we have seen in prior real estate markets, in that things are working towards a stabilization more than they are a market crash. But let's talk just for a moment about why people would be interested in Naples, Florida. So no question that it is a very popular place, especially for retirement. Actually, U.S. News and World Report just came out with their 2025 report talking that Naples, Florida is the #1 place to retire in all of the United States of America based on all of their metrics. We know that Naples has amazing beaches. We know that Naples has amazing weather, especially in the winter months. We know that Naples has amazing shopping, Naples has amazing restaurants, and you really can enjoy an amazing lifestyle when it comes to golf courses, tennis, pickleball, kayaking, etc., all in Naples, Florida. And so that is why it gets ranked so high, and it's one of the major factors on why real estate has been more stable over time. With that being said, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. There have been a lot of challenges that the real estate market has had to deal with. Number one is insurance. We know that insurance has caused a lot of problems for homeowners in the state of Florida. You've heard stories about people not being able to get insurance. You've heard stories of the premiums being substantially high, and that's a problem in general, but it is getting moderately better. It's certainly not solved, but that's one of the problems that we've dealt on the real estate side of things. Secondly, nationwide, we've dealt with higher interest rates, and so that has been, we've faced some headwinds with that, but the reality is the majority of home purchases in Naples, Florida are actually cash, and so for those people, interest rates don't matter very much. The other side of the coin is that real estate prices have gone up significantly, so as we have higher real estate prices, there tends to be more objections around those types of things, but we're going to talk about how that is at play right now as well. So what has happened in the overall real estate market is that we have increased inventory quite significantly since the low of 2022. So in 2022, that's what we would consider the height of the market. We were in a substantial seller's market. In Naples, we had about 1.2 months worth of inventory, and depending on the market, we actually had just a couple of weeks worth of inventory given the pace of sales at that time. We also saw record high pricing. We saw the median price of a single family home hit $950,000, which is obviously pretty substantial. Fast forward to today, and we've got a much different market at play. Today, we have about 8.7 months worth of inventory. So there are a lot more options for buyers that are out there. Also, on top of that, our median price is now $837,500. So you can see we have more options. We have a lower price point than we did in 2022. And I lived through that market in 2022. And what was happening is that there were very few options available for people. When that option would come up, there would be multiple offers. In some instances, we had listings that had over 30 offers on one particular property, and a lot of times they would go for hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking price. That is what happens in a strong seller's market. If you're in a strong seller's market, what does it favor? The market favors the seller. Fast forward to today at 8.7 months worth of inventory, we are well into a buyer's market territory. Now, who does that favor? That favors you as the buyer. And so now you can find scenarios where you're able to negotiate much more significantly than you could in years past. In fact, 87% of all homes are selling for under asking price. That's a really big deal because you're able to negotiate. And on top of that, it's not just the pricing, it's other terms. In the past, there would be a lot of instances where the buyer had to waive contingencies, where the buyer would have to deal with a seller wanting to stay in the property for 6 months after closing. And now you as the buyer have a lot more negotiating power to make terms favorable for you. So if you need inspections, which I highly advise that you do, if you need a finance contingency, if you need some other flexibility or contribution towards closing costs, these are things that can be part of the real estate conversation now that couldn't happen in the past. And so that's why we start to see now being a very good time to pay attention, because it's so weird how things work. But in a seller's market, a seller's usually not willing to sell, but that's when it favors them the most. In a buyer's market, a buyer usually comes up with reasons why they shouldn't buy, but that's when it usually favors them the most. And so now I want you to just see clearly about the opportunities that are in front of you to be able to make a decision. Now, when it comes to long-term real estate investment in Naples, Florida, I feel very good about the likely outcome here. The Florida weather is still amazing in the winter months. Sure, we have hurricanes, but the homes are generally built to withstand them in the summer months, and people are always going to want to come to the sunshine. They're going to want to come to the beaches. These are just things that people want. We are in a unique time frame where we've had a very cold winter up north and a very moderate winter in Florida. And so that just goes to show that that type of environment is possible. And that's where we get our snowbirds. That's going to continue for many, many years to come. So if you have questions about the real estate market here in Southwest Florida, me and my team would be honored to be able to help answer those and help guide you along in your journey to ownership here in Naples, Florida. Please put a comment below, like the video, and as always, have a blessed day. Thanks so much.